Show brought to you by Westside Decorating Center, 5789 State Street in Saginaw. Everything you need for home decorating, you're going to find it under one roof, and lots of good advice from Westside Decorating Center. And a good Monday morning to you. Nice to have you with us on this Monday. It is already halfway through the month of December. It is the 15th of December, and holiday season well upon us. Later on, after the 10 o'clock news, we'll be starting out talking to Shanti Appello from Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan about the food you eat at the holidays and how it may impact your mood. At 11 o'clock this morning, we will learn about Applied Training Solutions in Midland. We'll have open phones after Shanti in the 10 o'clock hour. But for this hour, we will spend time chatting with State Representative Tim Beeson, who is with us this morning. Tim, good morning.
Good morning, Art.
How are you today?
Well, I have to leave my house and go to find a better signal to talk to you because with the storm we got right now over top of the bay or in my area, it's at 1 bar, so I come down to the coffee house.
Well, right now it sounds good. Are you at the coffee house already?
Yeah, I'm at the coffee, excited to go. I'm going to have one as soon as we get done.
Well, during the first break, you can go order one, and then you can have it while we talk.
Yeah.
So let me ask, in real terms, does much get done at the legislature over the holidays?
Well, this year, I think there will be a lot getting done. Being that the House just got rid of some of the work projects, and I think that we're going to be doing some stuff working on the supplemental to get the close of books done.
We had a story on this morning that the Senate passed a bill to remove fees from personal protection orders. Do you know much about that? And is it something the House is liable to support?
I have not seen it. I don't know. I saw that they moved a lot of legislation, or they got back in the one day to do some legislation. And I don't know what we're going to see for that. And I don't think it should have a fee. We still got to figure out a way to pay the person that's doing all the paperwork, right? Like, I mean, and it sounds like a great program, except for who's going to do or work for free? Is AI going to take down all the information? That's my question,
Yeah. Well, we're trying to get some information on it. I have someone looking who thought that it was the courts that charged it, not the departments. So
you got somebody physically being at the job, taking it all down, right? So how are that person's going to get paid? Because we want to make sure that that person wants to come to work and help the person take all the information down, right?
Yeah.
Like you got to think both sides of that. Both sides of the paying somebody to do that.
Yeah, and of course the other side of that coin is we pay taxes for those people. Is the tax not sufficient enough to pay them? Do they get a salary anyway?
You're exactly right, and like we've got to figure out how we're going to get the budget in line because we don't have a surplus of money. That this next year is going to.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing on appropriations. I've been seeing a surplus of money come from the federal government, and then there was even a surplus of the last 2 years, and that's all floating around in work projects, and that's all coming to an end. And I think it's that time we look at some of our state departments and the increase of workforce. We need to shrink it down this year.
Do you see a movement to do that?
Well, I think that with this new get kind of like that $640 million that didn't get approved, right? That goes back to the general fund. We really need to look at, and I really like the new program where the state legislators have to put their name on the actual money going into the district instead of before. We didn't know who asked for it, who wanted it, right? Who was fighting for it. I think it's a great idea because then the people, so we don't get blindsided like what just happened with the MEDC this last week. Like, I didn't even know some of these projects that were going to be in there kind of came up because as your state legislator, I'm the one that takes the calls when something doesn't seem to be working right in our area, whether it's the bridges or the market, right? But I'm also the same person that wants to have new growth, right?
Yeah. Well, it's It's almost a real contradiction, isn't it?
Yeah, like I want to be, as your legislator, I need to know what the departments are doing in my area, a little more transparent from them, be like, hey, and not the day of, oh, the vote's coming through this week, I hope you support this. And I'm like, hey, how about you tell me what's going on, and I would love to support it.
Is there is there a lot of that goes on where you don't get information from the bureaucracy until the last minute?
You would be amazed, and that's why I try to get more and more people down to Lansing. You have great legislators across the state. You have great senators. But what we would deal with in Lansing sometimes, and that's why I keep all those business licenses. It's tough. It's tough to, because what they say is something totally different than what's happening on the street, you know?
That doesn't give me a lot of confidence.
Well, but you got to have people that you trust that are down there, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like, yeah, people don't agree with me a lot, but they do agree with me on going to work, small businesses, making it easier, right? And we're having a lot of difficulty, even with that earned sick time in our area for small businesses, as much as a local McDonald's. Even though you don't think of it as a small business, it is a small business owned and operated, here in the state of Michigan, right, by an actual owner that's doing the schedule, right?
Right. Yeah.
Like this goat place. I'm going to get a coffee. Somebody has to be there, right? Somebody has to be there to check me in, and that's what we're missing down at the state. People are not there when we want to walk over and talk to them in the state offices.
Well, they still working from home?
Yes, sir. They have a hybrid. They have a hybrid. And I got to tell you, I'm tired of the hybrid because it doesn't seem to work. You can't run any other business with a hybrid, and I'm glad that our police officers and our firemen and even our plow trucks don't have a hybrid, right?
Well, I hate to disappoint you, but I'm a hybrid. I'm in the radio station in the mornings. I get here 7:30-ish. I'm out of here at 11:30. The rest of my work I do at home on my computer, but I can because it's research stuff.
But you've always been a hybrid, okay?
Yeah, to a degree, that's true.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So if it was a hybrid before the pandemic, great. If it's a hybrid after, and then all I'm saying is if we can do it from home, we need to dump a lot of these buildings that we have on the state budget.
Yeah, yeah. All right, hang on. I'm going to take a break, and we'll come back. We're talking to State Representative Tim Beeson. While he enjoys a good coffee, we'll take a break and be back with Tim. Let me take a moment to talk about Quick Lane Freeland and McDonald Ford. They are together on the same property owned by McDonald Ford. Quick Lane Freeland is where you go for your tires because they sell all their tires at just $5 over cost. And if you're driving in the winter, and if you live around here, you're driving in the winter, you might want to know there is a difference between winter tires and all-season tires. And we've asked John from Quick Lane Freeland to explain it.
Hello, Art. Yes, winter tires are made with a pliable rubber compound that includes silica to stay flexible and maintain grip in freezing temperatures. Unlike harder all-season tires, which stiffen and lose traction in the cold, this flexible compound allows the tire to better conform to the road surface, providing superior grip and traction on snow and ice to keep you safe.
Thanks, John. Stop in today. Quick Lane Freeland. Have them check your tires and also have them check your cooling system while you're there because, winter is here, folks. Look out the window. Also, while you're there, walk over to the McDonald Ford lot and take a look at all of the beautiful new Ford products and their pre-owned lot where they have cars for every budget. It all happens at Quick Lane Freeland and McDonald Ford, two names that stand ready to serve your automotive needs.
Sometimes the simplest advice.
And this is how I knew it was going to get passed at the House with both bipartisan support because of international. There's got to be some way to do a check and balance of people going across the international bridge. I made sure that if I put an amendment that's only for international bridge and tolls between two countries that can actually have the Secretary of State do this. I don't feel that it's the Secretary of State's responsibility to be the police for the private Bay County bridge partners. So I put an amendment in to make sure that everywhere it said international and not just toll bridges. So there was and it said that between two different acting countries. So it's kind of nice, and I got it done so that it won't affect our local area.
Let me ask about the bridges and how you think they're doing.
We get still.
Your silence says it all.
We get calls every day, and we get emails and letters come. People still write us letters and talk about they're never coming back to Bay County because of those bridges. And it's just, I stayed at the DoubleTree, had a great time, everything was good, and we got out of town, and there was a lot of traffic. We went across that bridge, and then the other side is the toll bridge. They sent them a negative bill. It says negative $550. Well, that's not a negative bill. It means your account's negative, and that's how they are reading it. And I'm like, oh my gosh! And then they send you a late fee for a negative $10.50 on top of it, so it's like a negative $16 or $15.50, $16. They're getting a late fee, and it says a negative amount, and people aren't paying it, and it just keeps going up. It's kind of our bridge authority. The Bay City Bridge Partners have been, let's just say, something to work with.
Yeah. You have to wonder if they really want to work with the city and the county and the state. I shake my head.
And last time I checked, I think that the end of the unlimited pass for $15 is going away in December. That's what I heard. They tried to take it away, I think, earlier in the year, and they're trying to take it away. And my wife works on the other side of town, and I don't know that what's that going to look like. My bigger concern is a couple of years from now when everybody from the city has to pay, how many calls am I going to get then?
I'll tell you another worry I have because of the way it's set up. The Lafayette Bridge is not going to be ready for 2 years. The Vets Bridge is taking a pounding, which means it's going to need work. What happens if the Vets Bridge goes down while the Lafayette is under construction and people are forced to use the other two bridges? Wait till you hear the hue and cry.
And it's funny you say that, because that's all I want, even from not just from the bridge authorities, but state departments that are doing economic development in our area. I just want to be informed because I'm the one that's going to take the calls, right? Because you can't get a hold of MEDC when you want to get a hold of them to complain about something. But let me tell you what, everybody can get a hold of me, and they even know where I have coffee at sometimes, or sit with my uncle at the business. Because even my uncle being open, where I'm licensed facility, he gets, hey, this guy's calling you, this guy's stopping in. I have an office. I pretty much have an office in Bay County at any given time, and my Uncle Pat is usually there to embellish it till I get there, and bam, here you go. You got to take care of this, which is great.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's, it's true because when we think of problems with government, the first thing we think of are our representatives. No matter what the problem is, even if it's not even your problem.
Correct. But that's if we can get the person to the right area, that's half the battle, right? Not even calling us. That's what I get discouraged at. I'm like, have you guys called me? And sometimes we get we say it's blown up, but you get some bad press on Facebook, and we look back and the person, because when you call my office, it keeps track of your phone number. It tells you when you called. It tells me if you're in my district. It tells me your address. It has it all. The state has that in every phone call coming into our office.
Yeah. I have to wonder if the city has any regrets signing on with the partners.
Well, I mean, you always can look back and say, wow, I wish I would have played that golf shot different. I wish I would have never moved before that deer saw me today. But hindsight, you got to just learn from your mistakes, right? And I'm trying to tell everybody down in Lansing, we never want a private bridge company in any other county or in any other city like we have in Bay City. It's destroying us. It's separating the east from the west. And I get calls saying, oh, there's not a lumberyard on our side, or there's not this on that side. And I'm like, I get it, but I am only here after the fact, and I didn't make that decision. And you should hold the people that are accountable that did it, right?
Yeah. Well, it is. On the one hand, I understood why the city wanted to, free themselves from the bridge operations. On the other hand, the arrangement and the transparency of the bridge partners seems to be in question. How can I put it?
And you don't know what – you're exactly right. And I think that you don't know what you have, right? It always seems greener on the other side, and they thought they were washed their hands and everything was good. And I don't know, like, and the bridge, think about it, the bridge partners have a lot of money invested into those two bridges.
Oh, absolutely.
It's their money. Right. So it wasn't anybody else coming to the rescue, right? So, and that's the other thing, right? I'm not trying to. I wasn't there. I kind of got in right before I was getting there, and I didn't know that. I don't know if there was any other options, right? I wasn't in that room for that negotiation.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, going forward, I can stop every other county from doing it because I'm down there at Lansing saying this is the worst thing that we've done. And I'll give you all the emails and all the stuff that you're going to start dealing with if you allow a private company run a local bridge, lift bridge.
Yeah. All right, hang on. I got to take a break. You can hang with me.
Sure.
Enjoy your
Got my
coffee. Good. We'll be back talking to State Representative Tim Beeson. And we will pause and then come right back.
This Christmas Eve, let's pause.
Every other Sunday at my Uncle Pat's, it's coffee hour up there. And basically, he gives breakfast, and I get different people that show up on a regular basis.
Where is Uncle Pat's? Tell us Uncle Pat's name of the store.
The supermarket. Sorry, it's Beeson Supermarket and IGA up there. And it's right past the Turkey Roost. But I go to the coffee shops. I love going in to sit down, and the coffee shops, the restaurants. You can belly up a Beeson at a couple of taverns. Like even if we have non-alcoholics, it's still fun hearing their situations that they're dealing with every day. So I like it, and it's going to be a good winter season, I think, with the cold around here with ice fishing because we've got some ice.
Better you than me, I'll tell you. Do you ice fish?
I do ice fish. I do a little bit of all outdoors. I love it all. It's just not enough time. I'm good enough to probably outfish my son, but not good enough to outfish my friends that go out every night, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's all about opening day of deer season, I actually caught a nice steelhead, and I gave up my deer blind, and that guy got a nice 4-point. That's why I haven't shaved my face off yet today because I haven't got my buck yet. I look pretty rough right now. I gotta tell you, but I feel like it's lucky to get out there.
I'm glad you brought that up because back in November you worked on some legislation to protect hunters and the way they transport their guns and things in cars, and I didn't know there was a problem. I thought the law already gave them the way to do it. Well,
it's not so much the transfer. It's when you come back to your car or you forget something and you set your gun on your car, right? And grab a roll of toilet paper. That was my situation. And they're like, well, you can't do that because your gun's loaded and you're walking down the trail to go hunting, up in Niagara. So I'm like, oh, and you come back from duck hunting and you got to put your gun right into a case. Well, you got to open it all up and get it. You just can't set your gun whether it's loaded or not until you get everything open. So and I worked with some local sheriff's department. I get that they don't want a loaded gun in a case running around a car. I don't want that either. But when I get back to my spot or when I forget something and lean my gun on my car, I should not. That was my part of the area that I thought that was. I'm not going to lay my shotgun or my 22 rabbit gun down into the snow, right? That's not a good idea, but that's kind of what you have to do if you don't have anybody to hunt with you to hold on to your gun until you get the case out.
Yeah. So was there any opposition?
Well, there was a little opposition, but they just wanted to make sure that it wasn't for like transporting. I said, I get it. I don't want the guns in the shells in the barrel, the shells in the transporting, unless you have like that's your own. But for hunters, right? When it's rainy, muddy, or whatever, you come back and you throw your gun in the back. It's empty. You throw the gun in the back until you get out of your shells and get out of your clothes and turn your car on because you're freezing. Or for my situation where I forgot and I didn't grab a little toilet paper to go out in the woods, and I come back and I already loaded my gun and I set it next to my car on my car, but I was trying to grab because I couldn't get in to grab the toilet paper. I only got a warning, but still the idea is there. Like that's not what it's supposed to be for, right? I got a warning saying you can't do that.
So did it pass?
Well, everything kind of passes out of the House for us right now, but just like the
it's true.
Just like the bills out of the Senate. Do I see anything moving? I don't know. I don't see too much moving in the last few days, but hey, I've been wrong before, and maybe we can get some agreements on some good transparency or something that we both agree it's good,
Well,
and we also got to get the governor to sign it too.
but this one seems like a no-brainer. I mean, it's just,
Well, what I think is a no-brainer, and you might think is a no-brainer, certain people in Lansing
have
do
no
not
brains.
feel the same. I did not say that.
Yeah, I did.
They're just wired different, sir.
Yeah, I guess that's true. That's true. All right, let me take one more break here, Tim, and we'll be back talking to 96th District State Representative Tim Beeson, and we will be back with more. All right, we're back with you here on WSGW, talking to 96th District State Representative Tim Beeson. Tim, I had a call from David. He has a question as to whether or not you can get legislation passed to allow drones to be used for hunting dead deer. Other states allow it. Apparently, Michigan doesn't.
Sorry, sir, about the cough.
Yeah.
So drones, after that they get the deer actually shot and they're tracking it, I understand you can use a dog, and I see the opportunity here, and I would support that. I'm a big avid drone person, and it's out there, right? Like it's already there, and we have the tools to see things with temperature, and it would be a good opportunity, and another maybe small business that would aspire, right? Because somebody's not just going to buy that at a $99 drone. You think you're going to see it? It's a lot more than that, and I think that I would definitely vote for that if we could get that across. I also believe that deer baiting should be across, and we would get a lot more people in the woods hunting again. But that would be the Department of Natural Resources and the NRC rulemaking, and then I can only make a law to change it if we don't like it.
Is there any reason that they're not allowing drones to find dead deer? I mean, because drone operating is governed by, federal law says you can't go over 400 feet, you can't fly over people, but it doesn't say anything about not flying over woods.
Well, and that's what you got to be careful, right? Because you got to really look at what drones can and can't do, right? Because you got some are licensed and some aren't, and your private property. What is the legal limit? As long as everybody knew, like, right? Remember, you can fly on public property, but once you fly in private, because it's just like going to get your rabbit dog off of somebody's property. You're not allowed to hunt, but you can go get your animal, right?
Right.
But once again, there's some rules, right? So there's a lot of things that got to be thought about going forward with that. But I'd definitely be supportive in any faster way, because if you get the animal, right, and it's wounded or it's down and they hide in a good spot, I think it's a great idea, because then we're harvesting one more deer and people got food on the table.
Were you, just to stay on the hunting for a minute, with the new budget, the license fees, if I'm correct, did not go up. Is that correct?
Not in the House. We did not pass it. It did pass in the Senate.
But where is it in the budget?
So that's something that would have to pass. If that would have to pass the House and then get signed by the governor. And as of right now, I don't see that coming. I don't believe in raising the rates. I believe in downsizing government and keeping the the hunting affordable, because you don't increase price. And somebody's like, well, we can afford it. Yeah, you say that when you have a great job and you've maybe are capable of doing it, but some people can't afford it, and they're not even buying licenses anymore. They're buying, it's more of us hunters are buying more licenses, and less hunters are even buying licenses. So you don't make anything cost and expect more people to get into it.
Okay, let's move on to another costly thing that was in the budget, and I know you had some concerns about the marijuana tax. 24% tax. What are your feelings on that?
That's why I'm telling you, sir, that is why I believe that we can't keep raising taxes on businesses, on people, on transportation, on fuel. We can't keep raising taxes. We need to actually look at how do we sustain where we're at and get rid of the workload at the state level and employees. We need to shrink our departments and get them in reasonable. But taxing businesses out of Michigan doesn't seem like a good idea.
So the marijuana tax at 24% at the wholesale level.
So you're right. Let's talk about that. At the wholesale level, you got a 24% wholesale tax, okay? You have a 10% excise tax. You got a 6% sales tax. You got 40% of everything that goes out the door to the state. You tell me how many people are going to get in bed and think that's a great idea.
Yeah, but of course, the customer's the one paying for it, too, in the long run.
Right. So how long before the customers decide not to make their own or make their
well,
it just happens with
Yep.
That's the thing. And then when do we now it's not a big deal because it's been out there so long, and when do people start carrying more than they're supposed to, and the legality of that, right? Like, I just think that we went the wrong way. We were one of the cheapest and now we're one of the most expensive. And you look at the federal level, you heard something yesterday they were talking about easing some restriction. Well, now we got a 40% tax on ours. What's that going to do to us?
Yeah. Well, and also the other side of that was the industry was so overbuilt so quickly. A lot of those cannabis dealers are gone.
Correct. And a lot of them, and you got all the empty shelves. So for a short period of time, it was a boom, and just like anything else, and the best are going to, but I believe we should not limit licenses. I don't believe that we should limit competition. The more the competition, the better they get, right? The strong survive, and the new ones adapt and figure a different way.
Yeah. Well, I don't disagree with that. I love competition.
Yeah, it makes it so the prices are cheaper. But that's also, as long as you keep the state out of your pocketbook.
Oh, good luck. And, I tell people all the time, I hear things like, business pays tax. No, actually, people pay tax. Businesses don't have any money but what you give them. Government has no money other than what you give them. Everything comes out of your pocket, one way or another.
You're exactly right. And the smaller the government and the smaller the departments, the smaller the tax got to come out of your pocket. It's easy.
Well, that may be a wrong word, because if it was easy, we'd all be doing it.
You're right. Let me say the difference. It's easy to think that's how it should be done.
Yes.
But whether people like to lose their big buildings and all their extra employees at their departments, and they're like, well, some of them, and listen, we have got some great workers out there for the city and for the state, right? Especially down in Lansing. I've seen them. They're coming to work every day. I even know some of them, and they're putting in the time, right? But some of the other ones, I just think that we really need to try to find the inefficiencies in the departments and make it so that we don't have to raise taxes this year.
Yeah, that would be nice. That would be very nice.
Or new revenue sources.
Yeah.
They don't say raise taxes anymore, Eric. They say we got to find new revenue sources.
Yeah. Yep. All right, let me ask you this one final question here. Education. The money, of course, the foundational grants went up again this year. But if we look at the history, money is not the answer in education. I mean, we spend more, and we seem, as a state, to get less out of it. What are we doing wrong?
Well, I think that our education system has continued to be flawed for probably the last probably 7 to 10 years. We need to figure out a way to pay the teachers that are making it happen, and we got to get rid of the idea that the best teachers go into the administration, because I really feel that we lose a lot of great teachers that are excellent in the classroom, and the only way they can get a bigger paycheck, right, is by getting in the administration and get out of the classroom. And I say that to a lot of the administration. They're like, and once they get out of the classroom, it's hard to get them back, right?
Yep.
But they are some of the best. Man, they got all the kids that appreciate them. They appreciate, like, the kids want to go there to see them, right? When you got an infectious teacher and you just bump them to administration, well, not now. The administrators want to be around that person, but the kids, right?
Yeah.
And I think the teachers are actually handcuffed with regulation and amount of paperwork that they have to turn in.
Well, Tim, I got to let you go, but I want to take just a moment to wish you and yours a very Merry Christmas, and we'll talk to you in the new year.